a private pilot's license does seem really interesting though,
Yeah.
because it's something that like is extremely expensive, but also now you have like a one up on everyone who's like, oh, what are you gonna do? And it's like, oh, I'm gonna fly a plane. I can do Cessna 911.
Oh God. That's how we're starting this.
Yeah,
Cessna
yeah.
911.
No, a Japanese guy did do it in like the 70s or 80s.
Yes, I know.
Yeah,
It's an interesting thing because it's just like, yeah, gatekeeping. Here you can fly planes if you want, if you've got like thousands of dollars.
yeah, and like I understand wanting training for like people flying, your like Airbuses or Boeings like on the commercial flight, but I feel like we should allow any moron with the money or ability to build an airplane to be able to fly and die on their own accord.
We need to have it be like boats where you can just like go down to Lake Ozarks and rent a boat. And if you want to drunk crash into the beach and die, you can do it.
But like, all right, one, you can get a DUI on a boat.
Yeah, I know. But you can make that risk on your own decision if you choose to do that.
But also, like, I feel like you can cause way more damage in peak season Lake of the Ozarks on a jet ski than anyone can in like a super cheap Cessna.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, just how are there not more jet ski accidents? They seem like such extremely dangerous material.
I think you just don't hear about them because it's usually like rich person dies or like
What
person on a cruise falls overboard or something.
When DJ Khaled got stuck on the jet ski in
Yeah.
Miami.
He's just like, hey, Twitter, it's getting dark. I'm lost. I'm going to try and find our way back.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't.
Anyway, this is Clio Talk. I'm Matt.
And I'm RC.
And we don't really have a lot of topics to discuss, but we do have some, words to say. Anyway, so jet skis. Why, like, I feel like there should be some licensing at all, right?
I feel like it's your right as an American to operate a motorized vehicle without license. Like if I want to, it's just a jet ski. It just pushes water. If I want to fly it or if I want to drive it, I should be allowed to do that without big government getting entangled with it.
Would you take a jet ski back to some historical time period and just to show them what a jet ski is?
I mean, yeah.
Like, wouldn't it be so cool to just go down like the River Thames in like the 1500s, be like, "What's up, fuckers?"
Oh God.
In a jet ski.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
That'd be fun. I feel like you get shot, like arrows or something, like longbowmen.
I mean,
like, hark, what beckons thee, and then shoot you.
I mean, maybe, but like,
you try to do like one of those like circle donut things, and you fall off and drown just in front of everybody.
Yeah.
God, that would be actually. Thinking about it, that's where they dumped all the sewage. You should be jet skiing through the shit water.
Just like taking my jet ski to the modern day sewage treatment plant and just doing donuts around the circle.
You should be allowed to do that.
Yeah, I mean,
it'd save the money on those stirring machine things they got.
Yeah, well, the stirring machines apparently like will kill you because I have a relative that works at a sewage treatment plant as a wastewater operator, and he was telling me a story about how they once had a guy who was high on drugs try and get into the tank, and they had to chase him around the plant and try to keep him away from the tanks, because if he got in the tanks, he would be like basically cut in half by the stirring things.
It's like the call of the sewage tank.
Yeah, it
beckons you in the night.
Yeah, a random guy on a lot of drugs broke into a sewage
siren cry.
crawl into the poop tube.
Come to me. Sometimes when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah, but also back to, if you watch our previous episode on Hunter Larkin,
that was a good segue.
We do have some new news about the situation.
Yeah, I guess news. Yeah,
Kind of. I mean, it's public record. It's not news. We did some googling again.
we're doing an addendum because there was a meeting since the one where he did the little coup thing. So it's like, there's more information. Also, nobody really reports on it because it's Goddard, Kansas, and we were just like, this is an interesting topic. Whatever.
Anyway, so the two people he unjustly fired, he had to basically pay severance to,
Yeah.
which the amount of severance he paid is a little less than double the average median income for one person in Goddard, Kansas.
Yeah.
So
It's about $70,000, I think, in total to the two of them.
Yeah.
Which this is all again public. It's just the agenda minutes we're reading right now. So
yeah. So think about how it feels to spend $70,000 on paying off two people that you unjustly fired because you didn't like them.
yeah, it and so Brian, the city administrator, didn't even have the decency to have his signed. He signed it. Hunter didn't sign it. He signed the other one from Thatcher, but it's just like, come on, man, you could at least sign the severance when you like fire the guy out of the blue after like orchestrating a coup.
Also, imagine like a Monday morning meeting in which like everything's going normally, and then all of a sudden, like this 20-something egomaniac just rolls up and gets you fired for no reason.
That's the big question that I don't think people are asking in this whole thing. Is it's like, what was Brian doing wrong? Because he's the city administrator for like 20 years, and they have charts and stuff on how good the city is doing. And Hunter, in fact, like references those when he talks about how good the city of Goddard was doing under his leadership. But Brian's the administrator. Brian's the one who, like, according to the Goddard City Charter, is actually like has the power to do things. So if the city's doing well, it's doing well because of him, not in spite of him. So why remove him? Like, what was the actual reason? So I don't think we've ever. I think that the question has always been like, well, why did you become mayor or whatever? It's never been, well, what was Brian doing wrong? Because they didn't have a reason. That's why he's getting the severance payment. They didn't have like a just cause.
But I don't think anyone will really have an answer for us, because I don't think Hunter Larkin will ever answer that question honestly.
Yeah, I think it's always going to be like double talk or whatever.
And Brian is obviously going to, I mean, forever hold a grudge. And I don't blame him. I would hold a grudge too if that happened to me. And there's really no way of rationally thinking about the situation if you're the victim of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's because, we're asking these questions, but imagine out of the blue, yeah, like you were saying, Monday morning, oh, by the way, you're fired.
Yeah. Oh, also, we now have a new mayor, and it's the old guy who had to resign because he got a DUI.
Yeah. Yeah, our disgracefully ousted mayor is now mayor again and firing you. God, what did Brian do to him?
I don't know. I wonder if former Mayor Zimmerman would know a bit about it, because I know he was on the city council for as long as Hunter's been alive.
I think so. I mean, he would have to know, right? Because he's the one who like resigned. Like, he was clearly like annoyed with the whole thing. I don't even think he knew it was coming either, because so all the people involved were just like attending the meeting, just randomly. And this was just, from what I can tell, just a standard. Like right before this, they had somebody like who was like, hey, I want to apply for the open city council spot, because it's whatever. Who it wasn't the person that Hunter appointed, but they had like an actual applicant, so they were just going business as usual for the vacancy. And then it's like, oh no, by the way, we're voting to fire you as mayor.
Yeah, and it's just like in the city council meetings, what happened every Monday?
Yeah, like every other Monday.
Every other Monday.
Yeah.
So like, that's not a lot of time to actually, do this kind of stuff and collaborate with them. So like, also, isn't the mayor of Goddard an unpaid position anyway?
I couldn't find that. I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay.
I think the city council members get paid, but I think you get paid the same amount if you're mayor as you do as a city council member.
And
also, you're like the chair. It's kind of like the speaker of the house, where you're like, even less so though. It's almost like the was the pro tempore member of the Senate or whatever, which is just like, well, you're the oldest, so you're like the most senior, but you don't actually have any power. It's
Yeah.
just kind of the mayor Goddard. It's like, well, you're the mayor, but you don't really do anything. Like the city administrator does all the actual work.
Yeah, it's just this itches or tickles something in my brain. I don't know.
It's just so bizarre because it's, in like a governmental coup that you look at in like actual countries, right? It's like, okay, they're doing power because they want to like do something, but it's like, what is the I think that's what itches it is. It's just there's no reason. So there's just that question of like, what is the reason? Why are they doing this? What is the point? Like, is it just to launch like a campaign, like a not presidential, but like a larger office, like Kansas House campaign?
Yeah, but also like
obviously we're talking about him. We didn't know who he was before when he ran unsuccessfully 2 years ago.
Yeah, but also this is a lot of high risk for low rewards.
Yeah,
because I mean I know if he runs for a Kansas State House seat and wins it, those are horrifically underpaid.
I think you get paid like, I think it's like 60, isn't it? 60,000.
No,
It's
no,
not.
no. It is like you get $120 per diem per day while it's in session, and the Kansas State House is only in session for like 2.5 months.
Well, that's not that great.
No, it's not. No,
you have to drive all the way up to Topeka,
and you basically have to have a secondary income. Well, you have to have a secondary income in order to survive.
I mean, he has a secondary income as mayor. He works for that fiberglass company or whatever.
And that's one of the things that I've heard talked about a lot in the state of Kansas is just like obviously I can't run for a Kansas State House seat because I'm not gonna be like, hey, work. I'm gonna be in Topeka almost every day this week for the next 2.5 months.
Yeah.
Like that would 100% not fly.
See, and that's the whole reason why you have to pay your government employees like a lot of money is so that anyone can do it.
Yeah.
Because, it is kind of exclusionary when it's like, oh, yeah, only people who can afford to do this can do this. It's like, well, that's a very small section of society.
And also that opens up the ability for like, more special interest because like, if I own a business and then I also, get myself on the committee for stuff that regulates that business, that doesn't make any sense.
Which, if you were the mayor and, you didn't make that much money, but you had local like real estate developers, giving you money, but then you were to be caught in a DUI and have to resign, but you still have those relationships with those people, then maybe you might want to become mayor again so you can start making money again through it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hypothetical, but, that I'm not talking about anyone in particular. But,
No.
Theoretically. In Minecraft.
Now, one person who sometimes doesn't talk about people in particular is Prince Harry, because I read his book.
Oh, God. Was it good?
It's all right. I listened to it on Audible, and he reads it.
He reads it? He can read?
Yeah, he reads his book.
Wow, very good.
The few things that stand out to me is one, asking his handler.
His handler,
which is basically like the guy who manages his life, kind of like a butler, to help him with a research project when he was at Sandhurst, the Royal Military Academy at Sandhurst.
So he cheated?
Yeah, he cheated at British West Point.
Well, at least he admits it.
Well, he asked for help, and then he's like, I didn't. Well, he doesn't say he cheated. He said he asked for help.
You almost did a British accent there.
I did.
Well, you're like, well, yeah.
Oh, and another thing about accents is he does do an Irish accent.
Ooh.
He does an American accent.
Okay.
And I think he attempts a South African accent at one point.
There you go. I don't know what he sounds like, and I kind of want to keep it that way because I don't respect the Royals at all.
No, I don't. And like, I was just seeing a lot of stuff about this. So I was like, you know what? I'll devote 33 hours of my life.
33 hours of your life to some rich royal whatever talking to you.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Complaining about his problems.
Oh, yeah? What kind of problems does he have?
Well, his mom died.
Oh.
Which is a valid problem.
Yeah, that's a... I don't know,
yeah, that is... I
don't want to make fun of him for that.
No. And obviously the way that he was treated is pretty, rude, but also it kind of falls apart near the end when he's really complaining about getting cut off from like his income from the British royal family and like his security detail and stuff like that. She's like, okay, well, I mean, like, yeah, obviously you're struggling, but then when you like move to the United States, you get to stay in Tyler Perry's mansion,
Yeah.
and then you then buy a house in the same neighborhood as Tyler Perry.
Yeah. Well, even that complaint, it's like, oh no, I had to become a regular person, except for the fact that I'm like a prince and famous,
Yeah.
and I can, get Spotify to give me $100 million just because my name is Prince Harry. You
Yeah.
know? It's like, oh no, woe is me. I have to get a job like regular people to make my millions of dollars instead of just having a check cut to me every month. Wow, what a incredible problem to have.
Yeah, and there's also a lot of times where he points out it's just like a lot of people would tell me, "Oh, in school stuff, you're like, oh yeah, you'll be fine, you'll get this," and he was like, "But I wasn't," and I don't think he was really clicking in his head that like Eton or
Eton.
Sandhurst were not gonna fail him.
Yeah.
There's no way that you fail.
Could you imagine the scandal though? It's like, yeah, the Prince Harry flunks out of military school.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he nearly was banned from going by Parliament after his wearing of Nazi uniforms.
Well, I mean, that's who's among us, you know?
Whomst among us has not accidentally called our friend a racial slur,
Yeah, right?
which he did do.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me.
No.
Have you seen what they did to the Irish?
Well, it wasn't that.
No, I know. Have you seen what they did to literally every single one of their colonies?
Yeah. And he gets 99% there. Like, he's almost there to realize everything that, like, he's a part of and actually inherited is bad. And then he just doesn't get that final step over.
Like he's making the connection but comes to the wrong conclusion?
No. He's, like, about to make the full connection that the British royal family is, like, a complete waste and one of the most evil things to ever exist, and then he just doesn't complete it.
Was he doing that so that the reader makes the completion, but he doesn't have to say it, or is he just stupid?
Well, I don't know, because
like my thought is, I haven't read it. I'm not going to read it, but is it he can't say it, but he's saying it in a way that you made that conclusion, or is he just dense? Like
he got frostbite on his penis and tried to use herbal remedies to heal it.
How did he get frostbite on his penis?
He went on a trip to the North Pole a couple weeks before his brother's wedding, and then he got frostbite on his penis, and then he had to do his brother's wedding with frostbite on his penis.
These people lead different lives than us.
Yeah, and
they're not the same as.
And apparently, his brother was very upset at him over it.
How did his brother know he had frostbite?
Because he told him. And then at the reception. At the reception of the wedding, Harry was reading a letter that came in a package from a very excited American.
Yeah.
In which the American was trying to make a garment for Kate out of roadkill he found.
Okay.
But he was only able to get enough animals to make a roadkill hide thong that Harry then presented to the entire like reception while doing an intro speech.
Oh my god.
So,
when you live a sheltered life,
do you want to readdress? Is he like doing it so readers infer, or is he just dumb? Do you want to just readdress that point real quick?
Is he doing it for like alliterative reasons, or is he doing it because he's stupid, Matt?
Let's reference what I just said recently about the roadkill thong and frostbite.
I think the reader can make their own conclusions.
The reader can't make its own conclusions.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ. It's like there's times where you feel like sympathetic towards him, but also then you got to remember, how does he afford to fly to Botswana for vacations all the time? Or
that's the thing, is it's like you can feel sympathy for them as a human, but you can also remember that he has literally, other than like the real human, like loss of a loved one, right?
Yeah.
He has never had a hardship in his entire life.
Well, okay.
Because I mean,
He did go to Afghanistan twice.
yeah, as a royal. Do you genuinely believe that he was ever in any actual danger? Like, put it this way, like say the Black Hawk Down situation. He's a helicopter pilot, right? He gets shot down. Do you believe that he would get treated the same way in that situation as a regular soldier? Or do you think that both the U.S. and the British militaries would move heaven and earth to get him back in one piece, unharmed? That's my point.
Yeah, I mean, basically after, his first tour was cut short because the media found out that he was in Afghanistan and they immediately evacuated him.
Yeah. Because, and that's my point. Is it's just like, just by nature of his position, he's not in the same amount of danger in any given scenario as you or I, unless someone's like trying to kill him or something. But
another part that I found really interesting is when he was talking about like the 10-year anniversary tribute concert for their mom. He was just like, me and Willie put together a concert. We got Wembley Stadium. We got Elton John. We got P. Diddy. I was like, did you guys get Wembley Stadium, P. Diddy, Elton John, Brian May, or did you just tell someone to get it? Because I can't imagine you two, like two princes, calling up Wembley Stadium being like, hey, do you guys have this weekend available that we can book for a tribute concert for our mom?
yeah, again, it's like very different lives.
Yeah.
That not even the rich, but the royals lead. Because it's like, I don't have Elton John on speed dial.
It's,
if oh my God, it's stupid. Even the whole idea. Because okay, when you're like a regular celebrity, right?
yeah,
like when like David Bowie died, right? He died. People were sad because he's good. He has a talent, right? He had something that he was famous for that he did through his own hard work, right?
yeah.
Like he wasn't, But when like Diane died, she was
Diana.
She was mourned because she was famous because she was a royal.
Queen of our hearts.
Yeah,
Princess
that's what
Diana.
like the Queen Elizabeth. Oh, it's sad she died, but she never did anything. She was born, and then she became queen when her dad died, and then there you go. That's why she's famous and powerful. She may have accomplished things throughout her life, but she was queen because she was born, not because of any actual merit or like ability to do anything, right?
Yeah.
And literally every single thing that any of these people do in their lives has to be put with the asterisk of, oh, by the way, they were born like famous, and they never actually, anything they've accomplished, they doesn't really count because they started like 18 rows up from everybody else,
Yeah.
Like
And
Prince Harry made like a book that you're reading, but it's not because he's a good author. It's because he's Prince Harry.
yeah.
So,
And he's not, because there's a few times where he uses words that frankly don't make sense.
yeah.
Or either like, I'm not exactly sure, but probably like I think he makes up a couple words in the book.
Probably. Well, he's Shakespeare, right? He's allowed
Yeah.
to make up words.
And then there's a lot of stuff where like I remember he was talking about like him and Megan trying to meet, and Megan was on a tough like work schedule because she was filming Suits, and he was like, yeah, and I had so many lads trips.
Lads trips.
Yeah.
I hate British. No, but and that's the other thing. Is even Megan's actually accomplished stuff.
Yeah.
Because I mean, sure, she married a rich guy, but she was actually a famous actress before that. Because I don't, maybe Hollywood's not good, but at least she can act.
Yeah.
I mean, she has a talent that she got through hard work.
Yeah. And obviously Harry brings up the fact that she went through hardship, like basically like changing for auditions constantly in like the back of her SUV trying to get on roles.
I mean,
And
the British media was a hardship all of itself.
oh yeah, and I mean like, oh my God, imagine an entire country dogging on you because of your race.
Mm-hmm. No, but they're not racist. Don't worry.
No, they're not racist. No,
It's just because she
a former prime minister's sister totally did not write an article in a newspaper questioning the royal family lineage if it's mixed with another race. That did not happen at all.
Yeah, this is just making me mad.
Yeah. it it's infuriating. And it like I understand also like after William gets upset at Harry because like they've never stood up for their wives before, and
Yeah.
Harry actually released a public statement defending his like girlfriend at the time, and it was like, wow, okay, so one man can actually stand up for people. That's cool. But
It's just incredible how spineless half of those people are. Just like they roll over for everybody and everything, and then the second that one of them's like, I actually am not going to be racist to my wife, it's like,
yeah, but complete hard shift back to where we are from, good old Kansas City. We have a new flag.
yeah, we do.
And split opinions of the podcast because I think it looks okay.
It's Liechtenstein or Haiti.
I mean,
I think it's flipped, but
yeah.
it's just like, I don't know. I think I'm spoiled because the Wichita flag is like really good.
Yeah.
But it's just, okay, it's better than what it was, but I still don't love it. Maybe it'll grow on me.
At least it's not a clip art of the logo.
Yeah.
In low res on a white background.
I think it's just too. I think it's just the logo I don't like because it looks like birth control or it looks like an ovary or something like that. It's just like weird because
well,
it's like
it's a fountain.
But yeah, I know it's a fountain, but it's like too weird. It doesn't. If you don't necessarily know it's a fountain, it doesn't necessarily read fountain on the first glance.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
But we have some new scenarios for streetcar expansion in Kansas City.
Yeah, they're doing meetings, and actually there's one tonight at 8 as well. I forgot to tell you that before we recorded, but there was one at 6 and 8 tonight because they're actually moving forward on the east-west expansion.
No way.
Wow.
Are they doing? All right, so
I'm sorry.
What?
Just no way.
Well, I am frankly impressed that I thought east-west would frankly never happen, or at least I thought that the only east-west would be going down Armour Boulevard in North Casey, but looks like here there is a 31st Linwood route, and there's a Broadway. Well, Broadway Main's going to be north-south.
Yeah.
And looks like there's some 39th Street discussion going on as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
the bigger one is the Highway 40 up here that would wrap around the Truman Sports Complex.
Yeah, but I mean, I do like 39th Street. It's a very nice area of going down there, and I'm a big fan of Friends Sushi. If you're a Kansas City local, go to Friends Sushi. Reasonable prices, good sushi. On 39th Street.
That's not a paid ad.
No, it is not a paid ad. I just really like Friends Sushi.
We do this for free, everyone.
We do this for free. This is a after work activity.
I will say this is, I believe, north of the plaza.
Yes.
Yes, it's north of the river or the creek or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
but it does theoretically that 39th Street one would, I think, just barely the end of the line would be in Kansas.
Yes, at KU Med.
Yes, which is kind of big news, I think, because that makes this technically an actual regional metropolitan light rail system.
Yeah,
because it goes into both regions.
Now, going down 31st Street, if I remember correctly, there is Brown's Irish Market there as well, which would be cool to be able to take a streetcar to there. But an east-west extension finally proves that, the Kansas City streetcar is not going to be just something that goes down the corridor west of Troost and basically stays. It'll actually, reach out to some parts of the city that, have been historically disenfranchised.
Well, and all of the people who talk about this being like a toy train or stuff like that, this kind of investment, it started out as a little, I will admit, it started as a toy train on Main Street, but this is actually turning it into a robust, it's going to go to the Truman Sports Complex.
Yes.
That it has to. That's the only reason to put it where it is.
And the amount of business boom I have seen around the streetcar in Kansas City is insane.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, I think it would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that why stop at East West?
Here's the interactive map. I mean, I think they have to go up to the airport with something. That's the next logical leap. If you look at the Kansas City map,
Yeah.
this one is to, the Truman Sports Complex, because we're going to have the World Cup in a couple of years. And I guess they're like, well, we have buses to take you to downtown, and this hopefully gets done before that. So at least you can just ride the streetcar from downtown to...
We're actually planning for the World Cup?
Hypothetically. Here's an interactive map, so if you see it wraps around here. The one issue I have with this east-west plan as is none of these transit options actually go into the Truman Sports Complex.
Well, so the Truman Sports the Arrowhead and Kaufman generate, particularly Arrowhead, or GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium, generate so much revenue from parking that I feel like they will fight it tooth and nail so it doesn't go directly into the stadium.
But people still want to tailgate, right?
Yeah, people
will still drive.
Yes,
like tailgating isn't going anywhere.
What I imagine is at these transit stops, there will 100% be a booth in which you'll have to pay to enter the parking lot, probably.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is you can still make money off of it, or you.
But you're still going to get nickel and dime trying to get to the stadium.
Yeah, or you have it be a fared entrance.
Now, are they still talking about the streetcar being free? Because if they do this expansion, I would 100% be pro having like a Metro card system.
I haven't seen that anywhere. Obviously, we haven't actually gone to the meetings.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen anywhere where they've mentioned a fare. I think... Luckily, we're at the point where this is still small enough to where it's not... It costs, I think, about $70 million a year to run this thing.
Yeah.
And that's the entire metro area paying for it. So that's Johnson County and Jackson County and all that. Because it's under the KCATA banner. So it's just the regional metro transit system. So I haven't seen anywhere that's mentioned possibly adding a fare. But yeah, I mean, if you get like a $2... Or if you get like a year pass for like $25, I think the larger thing is they need to make this worth the money. They need to make it to where people can go, hey, I'm going to pay $150, $300 for a year pass, and then I won't have to drive anywhere.
Now, one gripe that I have, it needs to be like a Metro card or like some sort of tap system, because I have been on a modern Midwest transit system in Minnesota, in which it does cost money, but you have to buy like a ticket and you can just get on. But so you can basically skip the fare, not saying that we would do that, but you also get fined if a cop finds you for skipping the fare. And that seems kind of ridiculous. Why would you just not have like a preloadable card you could have on your wallet where all you can do is just tap? And then if there's a question, you can just like you just take out your Metro card, and as long as it like is valid within that like year or whatever, and you can do it by month or by year. But like
the Metro card system is definitely a lot cooler because even in Chicago they have it linked to an app now, so you get the card, it's registered to you, but then you don't actually have to have it because you can just like scan your phone. Yeah. Which it's pretty cool.
But also hop on, hop off free is also, I mean, honestly, the best, because that's my one thing I do like about the streetcar is that it is free.
Yeah, yeah.
And all the buses in Kansas City are free too, so like might as well just keep it.
I think that's the largest thing for it too, is just the speed of, you don't have to wait in line, swipe. You can just hop on, which I think is the big benefit for us over, Chicago especially, because there's a lot of those where it's like 20 degrees and I was standing there waiting for a bunch of old people to swipe it, and they didn't understand how it worked for a lot of it, and they were getting yelled at by the bus driver. It's like, man, I'm kind of missing KC right now, where you could just walk on, or even Minneapolis, where you could just walk on.
Yes, you can walk on as long as you have a ticket that you purchased for the amount of hours that you're going to be on. Yes. Now, are they going to do the north expansion though to North KC? Because I know that was talked about.
Well, I think the.
Because
you mean the one of the KC Current Stadium?
Well, it's going to go to the KC Current. That is a guarantee.
Yeah, that's done. That's being built. Yeah, basically.
But
I think they're they're making the rails for it.
I heard something about it going down Armour Boulevard in North KC, We have the map open. Just go ahead and scroll up a bit.
It's an interactive map on the Kansas City streetcar website.
It's going to be
that shows the east when you go to the east-west expansion side.
Yeah, Armour Boulevard in North KC. You see where the Hawaiian Bros is.
I'm like complete. Yeah, right there. I mean, I haven't seen anyone say this, like a north expansion.
North Rail.
North Rail. Okay. Oh, yeah. I haven't actually seen this. When did they? June 28th, 2022. How have I never heard about this?
Well, so
wait a second. Is this since we did our last episode on the streetcar? I think it is. Yeah, North Rail. That's kind of cool.
So
Okay, this is like one step away from the airport connection. I didn't know this existed, but this is like they're actually going.
In complete honesty, I slept on North Kansas City until I went to down Armour Road. I think last weekend or the weekend before, and Armour Road is definitely slept on. If you are a Kansas City resident, I would suggest going to Screenland Theater. That is a locally owned theater. They have a retro bar in its basement, and they have a massive Hawaiian Bros, and they also have a few other restaurants. They have the Rhino, which is like a live music venue. It is nice, and honestly, it deserves a streetcar connection. And that gets it only one step closer to being up to the airport. Granted, the airport's a really far away location.
But they have a brand new... Here's what I think. I think they're going to open the airport. They're going to let it run for a couple months, get the kinks out, and then they're going to be, because of new regional, investment and support for this brand new airport, the Kansas City Area Transit Authority has decided, we're going to have a brand new link using this North Rail link, or maybe a subway or something cool like that. That'd be nice. Yeah. But I think that they're going to, with the new airport, it makes sense while public interest is at its highest to be like, here.
Also, they're going to have a bunch of extra space because they're going to tear down the two terminals that are currently existing, which means you can build a massive transit hub out of there, which allows you to maybe run multiple lines.
But with this North Rail one, once that's done, all of a sudden you don't have to cross the river with a subway or like a heavier rail.
Unless you want more lines going to the north, because you don't want to create a bottleneck.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm just saying, if you have just a 1-to-1 subway for now that just kind of has a couple of stops, all of a sudden, you don't have to. Obviously, broader expansion if we actually get something more akin to Chicago or other areas like St. Louis actually has a subway.
Well,
you'd want to cross the river at some point. But just for now, it'd probably be cheaper if you're able to just go in a straight line with the streetcar link already.
Man, wouldn't it be so sick to get like a couple like B words from the federal government?
That'd be nice.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
Hey, Joe Biden, can you throw like?
You're a train guy.
Throw a few $1 billion at the KC streetcar, so we can build more of it. Yeah, that's the new line. Yeah, which is going to go down to UMKC.
He says, because I pulled up the currently under construction map. I realize you guys can't actually see Riverfront Main Street extension. There we go, baby. We're going. We're rolling. The ball is fully off the track. It's rolling down.
Do you think it'll ever work its way into Johnson County, or will it just be Clay County and Jackson County and Wyandotte County?
It has to, right? Long term. I'm talking like 10 years from now. It has to at some point. It just makes too much sense. Maybe Johnson County will oppose it, but Johnson County's already paying for it.
Yeah.
We have a regional transit authority. There's nothing stopping them from going into Johnson County and all that because they're already a part of it. As in, the bus system in Kansas City is one giant unified bus system. It's Ride KC, and it services the entire metropolitan area. So Johnson County already has, a slice of the pie. So at some point they're going to be like, wait a second, we're paying for the streetcar. Can we get a couple stops in our area?
And that is a good point. If anyone in Johnson County ever opposes it, is be like, well, I mean, you're already paying for it.
Which that might have the blowback of them not wanting to pay for it anymore, but
Well,
It's cool. It's if you want people to come here, if you want investment in our community, if you want more Garmin's or more T-Mobiles or more, other regional AMC, they're going to want a nice, thriving, growing city. And Kansas City has, a brand new train system. Maybe Johnson County doesn't look as appealing anymore. Maybe, hey, our workers, when we build a new campus, they kind of like the idea of not having to drive everywhere. This kind of looks appealing to them.
Now, with the north expansion, do you think it'll go into KCK, like KCK proper?
Maybe. I mean, the next logical leap once all this is done after the airport is the Legends, right? Because you got Sporting KC, you got the Speedway, potentially Arrowhead might move over there.
So, I mean, would it run down?
Laura Kelly is on a roll. That's what I'll say.
Laura Kelly is on a roll. Do you think it'd run down like State Avenue or where?
I will say State Line Road, if they're gonna do another like north south,
they can't do it down State Line.
I know.
Have you driven down State Line recently?
I drive down State Road.
It is. There's parts where it's rough.
I know. I'm just saying. You get that investment in that road, and you get the weed connection of, hey, just drive over here, you take the streetcar out,
Oh yeah.
By the way,
weed is now legal in the western part of Missouri, and technically illegal, but is basically legal in the eastern part of Kansas, because once again, like our previous episode talked about, weed's legal in Missouri, and there's a massive 600,000 person population on the Kansas side who can easily drive across the hundreds of streets that lead into Kansas City.
KBI, if you're listening to this, you're not actually listening to this. It's like 20 minutes from here.
Yeah.
It's not that far to the state line from here, guys.
No.
It's going to be legal in Kansas within 5 years. There's no avoiding it anymore. Because Missouri is taking all this revenue that could be going to Kansas's budget.
At this point, like, why even hold out?
The only reason everybody, I think over half of the population of Kansas lives within like a 30-minute drive of legal weed, but Colorado and Missouri are getting all of the revenue from that legal weed.
Yeah.
There's a certain point where even like the most like conservative legislators have to look at that and be like, well, that's probably close to like $50 million a year we're just like saying no to for no reason, literally no reason, because everybody in Kansas that wants it can get it without any real, there's no way to police it. The entirety of state line, you can't pull over everybody on 435.
Granted, I'm assuming probably there's been a few arrests and they're probably going to be made examples of, but
just quite frankly, you can't pull over everybody that crosses into Missouri.
No.
You can't do it, because what's going to stop somebody from getting up in the morning, driving into downtown KC, buying weed, and for work, driving in, buying weed, and then driving home? You can't stop that.
Nothing.
If 100,000 people do that, you can't stop that. It just doesn't make any sense for it to be illegal at this point. It's like making alcohol illegal again. If Kansas was the only one to do it, well, people could just go get it elsewhere. Granted, I feel like Kansas would make alcohol legal if they could.
Kansas would make a lot of things illegal if they could, but also they need. At this point, maybe there needs to be a discussion about like actual national legalization, because
he said it a couple months ago. He said it. Biden did.
Yeah.
He talked about the scheduling, and then nothing since then. And it's like, okay. I don't know if that was just for the midterms.
Well, but also with the, debt ceiling crisis going on right now.
Yeah.
Do you know about the coin, by the way?
Yes, that was a Simpsons bit,
It was?
Yeah, there was a bit where they like make the coin. Wasn't it? I remember like a Simpsons episode where there's just like the $1 trillion coin, and then like Russia gets it or something.
Oh no, that's where they make like the like $1 billion like dollar, and then Mr. Burns has it.
Yes.
He gives it to Homer, and Fidel Castro.
Yes, it was Castro. Yes,
and he's
like, I'm saying it's a Simpsons episode.
Yeah. No, but apparently it's possible with coinage law that you could just make a platinum coin that's $1 trillion.
Yeah. Why would you do that though?
I don't know why you. Well, in order to like avoid the brinksmanship of fucking with the debt ceiling.
But then you would have just injected $1 trillion of new currency.
No, $1 trillion of one piece of currency, which
Yeah,
you
but
then
that
put
would-
in a vault.
Yeah, but that would be $1 trillion. That I mean,
But it's the coin.
are we back to like the Byzantines trying to combat inflation, where it's just like, well, if we just make like gold coins, but they're better, they're cooler than the old ones, then inflation will go down. And it's like, no, that you just made it worse because you just made more money. There's like a whole thing with the Byzantines not understanding why their current. No, it was the Romans actually. I was listening to History of Rome because I'm a loser, but it was yeah, they were just trying to figure out why their money was worthless, and they're like, well, if we just make more of it, then this stuff will be better than the old stuff, and it didn't work. So if we make $1 trillion coin, that will solve the
Now,
problem.
who would you put on it?
Would you put on the $1 trillion coin?
Yeah.
I don't know. You'd have to put someone really like stupid on it.
Yeah.
Like it would have to be someone stupid.
I vote the 1980s sitcom hit Alf.
Alf?
Yeah.
You put Alf on it?
Yep, on the $1 trillion coin.
See, I was thinking like actual like. I feel like you could do like Homer or something. He's famous enough.
Yeah, you literally could do anyone. Will you do some obscure government official? Yes.
Put Dick Cheney on it.
Yeah.
The Dick Cheney coin.
Could it just be a platinum coin that commemorates Dick Cheney shooting a Texas lawyer?
Yeah, you saw that guy that he shot died?
He did?
Yeah, he died like 2 days ago.
No way.
Yeah, on his epitaph, like, his in memoriam, it's like, oh yeah, here lies, I don't know his name, but he's the guy Dick Cheney shot. That's what he's known for, is getting shot by some guy. Oh God.
All right. I think we have enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So.
This has been Cleo Talk. I've been Matt.
I've been RC.
You can follow us at Cleo History on Twitter. You can email us at Cleo History Podcast. You can.
We put these things up on
gmail.com.
YouTube, by the way.
We do put
There's
up
no
on YouTube.
visuals, but there's the audio if you want to.
Yeah. So
like,
and
listen to it.
that's at Cleo History with no space. Yeah. Go ahead and let us know on Twitter, email, or YouTube if you like this stuff. Or
Actually, if you don't, let us know too.
yeah. Honestly, like hate mail would be kind of interesting.
It would be kind of fun. They'd give us something that we could talk about. If you send us hate mail, we'll talk about it probably.
Yeah, and will we be nice? No, but
yeah, I mean, we'll probably make fun of you for sending us hate mail because why are you even listening?
Yeah, but you're wasting your life. Yeah, and I'll be like when the daughter of Saddam Hussein emailed us.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, it was a phishing scam, but yeah.
Hey.
All right. Bye.
Bye.